you're not front running the move, because if you'd done that, many occasions you just end up having to wait many, many months for something positive to happen. We're setting a bit of a historic precedent here.
Was it really that event that caused the rally to go up?
The economy is going to start suffering pain.
That's going to be bonkers. Welcome everybody to another episode of Talking Trade. Of course, Kevin Wadsworth and myself, Patrick Karim, happy to show you and talk to you today something very important. It's the art of patience, right? That's very difficult. We all think we have patience, but seriously, I don't think any of us has patience. It's an ongoing trial for human traders or to work on patience. So Kevin will enlighten us about this art.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky thing to master, and by combining it with a little bit of science, you can master the art of patience. Let me sort of explain what I mean. I think sort of rushing into a trade or rushing into even a longer term investment is a mistake that many people make, and getting in too early and finding that you're sort of not well positioned, shall we say, or you haven't timed it correctly. It goes back to that sort of phrase, I suppose, that people come out with, which is letting the trade or letting the position that you're going to take, let it come to you rather than you trying to chase it. So I'll show you what I mean rather than me rambling on. I'll show you exactly what I mean with a screen. Okay, so let's take a look at the chart, and this is the gold chart as it looked back in 2011. So if you were on the ball, you would have spotted this breakout, beautiful breakout from the base in around about 2002 there, early part of 2002. So I'm going to assume that you spotted that and you're trading or indeed longer term investing in this sector. So if I just hit the replay button, and we'll just, in fact, I'll just put a little support line on here. I think if you're in the gold trade or in the gold market back in 2011, for a whole variety of reasons, which we've explained in previous episodes, you would be wanting to be a little bit cautious. And, you can see the rate of increase of the gold price increasing over time. So any break of that support line, as is always the case with trading and investing, when an important support line breaks, you want to take notice, and depending on your trading strategy, you would act on that. But this is about patience, and I'm just going to hit the replay button just so that you can see what I mean. So when a support line or a resistance line breaks, you need to respect that and take the appropriate action, and then be patient about what you do next. So there you see the support line breaking, and you see it sort of gradually starting to show weakness as the price now goes below that support line. So really, you should be stepping aside at this point. Now, again, it depends on your strategy, but you can see a more important or equally important support line developing right here, a sort of horizontal support line. So what you'd be thinking, or what you'd be saying, is that if this is just a healthy consolidation, healthy correction, then that support line should hold, but it hasn't done. You can see this big break below support here. So assuming you managed to get into the gold market somewhere down here, you should now be stepping aside. And this is where the patience comes in, because you're out of the gold market. You shouldn't be trading it at this point because you're in a very clear high time frame downtrend. This is the monthly chart. These are monthly candles. So each one of these red and green candles represents 1 month's price action. So you're very clearly now in a high time frame correction. Now, none of us has a crystal ball, so we don't know with certainty when this downtrend is going to end. And we don't know with certainty when a new uptrend is going to begin. What you can do is you can use technical analysis to start putting some important lines on the chart that you might start to sort of take notice of if and when the price breaks out of it. So you can see we're already starting to develop a little bit of a resistance line there. And you would sit up and take notice, a little bit like back in 2002, you would sit up and take notice if and when that resistance line is broken above. So patience, you're just being very patient here. You're not front running the move, because if you'd done that, many occasions you just end up having to wait many, many months for something positive to happen. Now, the price here is broken above that downtrending resistance line. One thing that we've said many times is that it's important that the price breaks through horizontal resistance as well as downtrending support lines. So you can start to put horizontal levels on the chart as well. And if I do that, let me just put a horizontal breakout line on the chart. It would look something like that. Now, what I haven't got on the chart here is the moving averages and things like the Ichimoku cloud, because whilst all of this is going on down here, we're below the Ichimoku cloud and struggling to break out above the 3-year moving average. So you might have got fooled by this little breakout here, but you should very quickly realize that that is not the breakout that we're all looking for and we're all waiting for. So the big breakout at this point is becoming very clear. And for those of you that follow me or followed me back at the time, you would know that I started to spot this arc pattern here. Now, cup and handle patterns are quite common in trading. In fact, there was one down here in the early 2000s as well. But these cup and handle patterns that form on the charts are, you see them all over the place, and they are quite useful for helping to guide the price back towards the highs. So let's just hit the play button again and see how we have to adjust and modify the chart as it plays out. Because, of course, in real time, you'll be continually adjusting and taking new data into account. So you've got a breakout, what looks like a breakout developing there, and it's around about $1,400. At that point, when you're around about $1,400, if I just pause the chart, put on the 12-period moving average, the 36-month moving average, and the Ichimoku cloud, well, you notice that like back in the early 2000s, the price has moved above the moving averages, and it's above the Ichimoku cloud there. Equally, when it broke down below that support line and below the moving averages. So all of this patience is paid off. It's opportunity cost. You'll sometimes hear the phrase opportunity cost. And that was a whole period of time where if you'd been invested in the gold market, you would be experiencing opportunity cost because you'd be missing the opportunity to invest elsewhere. Now, this here is the breakout that you'd be looking for through the moving averages, through the Ichimoku cloud, above the resistance line. And we'll know what happened next. Price did indeed get guided back up to the target, and the target was the $2,000 area. And of course, as we now know, what happened after that is that we built another consolidation pattern that took that sort of a form, formed another arc pattern, another cup, which again, we were able to identify in real time as it developed. And the price came down, tested the Ichimoku cloud, and then moved up to where we currently are at just below $3,500. So all of that patience, Pat, paid off, and letting the chart speak to you, taking notice of the messages from the chart. Is the price above the moving averages? Is the price above the Ichimoku cloud? Has the price broken out above, horizontal or near horizontal breakout lines? If you can say tick, tick, tick to all of those, check, 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 then that's it. That's your signal. That's when the noise of the chart becomes a signal. You have signals and you have noise, and there's a lot of noise that takes place on the chart. It's the signals that you should take notice of.
Totally agree, Kevin. Remove the noise, makes everything easier, and helps you maintain your patience for the signal when you get it. Guys, that was awesome. Please like, subscribe, and to get more awesome content like this, guys. Till next time.